I have been saying this for years, but when are you people gonna learn? Every single time I put out a video for this series, I get wave after wave of idiots asking for actual real tips. Are you new here? I'm not here to teach you anything. This isn't Smite Fire. You're a big boy. You can look that up yourself. Plus, do you really expect YouTubers of all people to teach you how to play the game? Half of us dodge paying our taxes, and the other half touches kids. And real men do both. Welcome to How to Smite. Step 1. This ain't your usual MOBA. You got your big boys, right? League of Legends, Dota 2, they got these big, high production value cinematics, music videos, fucking Charles Barkley comes in. Smite just doesn't have the budget for that. You got these little tiny boxes on the side of videos that make it look like a mobile game, and off-brand Hot Topic t-shirts. But the biggest thing that always stopped me from playing all those other mobile games was the fucking auteur camera angle. I already hated most RTSs with a passion and picturing that experience, but instead every Egyptian wheat farmer is a white kid reciting the bell curve at me didn't seem like a captivating experience. Smite caught my eye because it's the only non-isometric MOBA that survived the blood trials. Paragon, Battleborn, Gigantic, Mindjack. They were all eaten up and fucking spat out by the masses. If you ignore the huge gap in player count compared to the big boys, Smite's popularity has actually been increasing at a surprising rate. And those numbers were boosted a little bit by a, recent China-based global disaster known as the Mulan live-action remake. Uh-oh. They also just got a collaboration with Asian Totally Spies. I mean, of course they fucked it up, but that's besides the point. Ah, yes. Yang's classic big crystal move.
These little dust crystals are such a cool sort of tie-in between Yang and Terra.
Step 2. Keep your expectations low and you'll never be disappointed. At its absolute core, Smite as a game is fun as shit. Like landing Janus' ult is about as close as I can get to climaxing. Mercury's kit is just so much fun to use and everything just merges together. And then you got Chang'e. The problem with Smite lies in everything else around it. Between the horrible upper management, and I'll fucking get to that, a CEO that would, and I shit you not, demand buffs to characters he was personally bad at during playtests, and the amount of bugs ranging from kinda funny to how the fuck is this still in the game, gives the entire game this amateurish vibe that new players will avoid and current players fucking hate. I'll be the first one to admit that I know about as much on coding as I do on sensitive racial issues, but I think still having the scrolling bug after 3 years is fucking ridiculous, and not letting me say it kind of makes you the racist when you think about it. Step 3, don't bother learning the game because you'll never be good at it. You can have more than 1,000 hours put into this fucking game and still do shit like this.
Oh,
or this. Or this. Okay, I can't do this anymore. This whole video was bait. My last Smite vid was originally gonna have some funny moments, maybe a montage segment at the end. But instead, here we are. A while ago, I said on Twitter that the only way I'd stop making these vids is if the game stopped being fun or making the vids stopped being fun. Well, neither of those things have happened, so what did? So this all started around 3 years ago when me and Mythimu were approached to direct a show about the Smite updates on the official Hi-Res channel. It was all going pretty smoothly until out of nowhere around a year after the show started, Myth decides to leave. That's cool. Hi-Res says it's fine if I just run the show solo, and that's what I start doing. That's when things started taking a turn for the worse. Me and Myth used to be paid like around 5 business days after a video would go up, but the moment I took over, it started being 14 days, 20 days, and then they started sending e-checks, which, if you're unfamiliar with e-checks, means it adds another week of waiting onto the payment. So after Myth left, I'm pretty much left with being paid around 30 days after a video comes out, if I'm lucky. No matter how much I bitched about it, things didn't seem to change, so I just dealt with it. This all lasts for about a year and a half until I'm asked to make a video on the update where Pele came out. How the process for a video like this usually goes is I make it, I send them to the Rant team, and then they tell me whether or not I should cut back on the edge, and then I rework it down using the notes that they gave me, and then that final version gets published. What happened this time was I made the video, sent it to the Rant team, they gave back no notes, and then the video went up. That's when I wake up the next day with a message saying that the show's been canceled. When I asked why the show was canceled, all I heard was that a couple people complained that the intros were not Smite humor. Hey guys, let's play a fun game of who should be fired? The guy that did his job or the people that approved a video that they shouldn't have? That's right, it's the guy who did his job! I tried to contest it, but there was really nothing I could do. After that, I pretty much made it public knowledge on Twitter that the show had been canceled and I was pretty bummed out about it. I kind of regret making that tweet because it sort of sparked a couple threads on the Smite subreddit dicking down Hi-Rez and blaming them for the whole thing. When I was made aware of this, I went into the thread that had the most upvotes at the time, and I left this comment.
Yeah, I can confirm it's cancelled. Really out of my control too. All videos I sent in were approved by the brand team before going up, but unfortunately, a couple people got mad at the intros I was doing, claiming it wasn't Smite humor. It sucks, and there's nothing I can do about it. No matter what people thought of the show, making those vids was really fun, and it brought a routine to my life that I was desperately needing. In the end, I'm glad I even got a chance to do it in the first place. It was an honor to be able to work with Hi-Rez on the show, and I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed it.
I don't know what the fuck the brand team read instead of that, because their interpretation of this comment was apparently a personal attack, and they ended up not only canceling the show permanently, but also canceling every other show I had in the works with Hi-Rez forever, and telling me they never wanted to work with me ever again. So instead of being smart and making this video when that happened, I start working with the Paladins team instead, thinking that somehow things would be different. Under the Paladins team, I start working on two shows. One of them was Paladins in 90 Seconds, and the other one was Paladins Drunk Lore. Drunk Lore was kind of short-lived because it did pretty good on the first couple episodes, and then after that they stopped promoting them for some reason, and then they cancel it because it stopped pulling in numbers. I wonder why. So while I'm working under only Paladins in 90 Seconds, I'm pretty much fucking miserable. The payment issues continue as they were before, but now I also have the extra fun factor of every time I have a complaint, the accounting team is conveniently on vacation. I want to say this happened at least 10 or 20 different times. And when they weren't on vacation, things got so bad to a point where I was put directly in touch with the lead of the accounting department, where I just begged them to be paid like a normal human being, and they pretty much gave me the corporate version of go fuck yourself. Then Hi-Rez comes knocking at my door and they ask me to bring the Smite show back. I thought maybe since they were actually asking me to bring it back and telling me that I'd have access to more resources and people from the company participating in episodes, maybe that would mean they'd start treating me like a human being. Little did I know that this would be the point where at the start of each month, they would charge me $1,000 for no reason. This started happening in December and only stopped happening in April. At the start of every single month, I'd wake up from a warning from PayPal telling me that my balance was in the negative because Hi-Rez extracted $1,000 from it. I didn't know why it was happening, they didn't know why it was happening, but this whole debacle kind of made me reconsider their offer of being paid in Vulcan skins instead of money. For me, most of this doesn't even come as a surprise, because I'm familiar with plenty of people that have had really horrible experiences at Hi-Rez. That's why I'm bringing on my good pal Rexsi to tell me his experience. So tell me, Rexsi, what happened?
Recently, I kind of made a tweet stating that a certain person shouldn't be an Olympian and represent Smite's community, right? This person was super toxic, broken all these rules, and even threw up pedophile accusations with no substance. So it was just like, it didn't look really good at Smite, and to all those other people who really...
I was approached to do my announcer pack back in December, and I submitted my lines in January. If you guys look at the other announcer packs that are currently in Smite, you'll notice that most, if not all of them, have little custom icons that are made in-house by Hi-Rez. After I sent my lines in, I was asked to send in references of my, Punk Duck character, so they could make one for mine. When my announcer pack came out, I thought it was kind of weird that they were just using my YouTube logo. I thought it was just a PTS issue, but no, when the patch went live, it was still my YouTube logo. I asked my manager what was up with that, and he didn't even know. I was supposed to get a custom icon, and neither he nor I were informed that they ended up just using the YouTube icon. I thought they were gonna update it in the future, but turns out, the artist couldn't be fucked. When I realized that my icon was gonna be in the game permanently, I told them that, hey, if you guys are gonna use my YouTube icon in the game, you should probably either credit or at least pay the artist that made it. So I got in touch with the artist to let her know what was going on. Hi-Rez got in touch with her to ask how she'd like to be compensated. And just when things were getting hashed out, I was greeted with this.
Hi Ed, hope you are well. I wanted to reach out to you about the usage of your icon for the in-game voice packs you recorded. The team got me up to speed regarding the artist who made this as a favor for you. In order to resolve this quickly and efficiently, and as a one-time accommodation, Hi-Rez is willing to pay the artist in question for the punk duck icon, subject to signing an agreement with us. Please notify the artist. Happy to be put in touch with him/her directly in order to expedite this.
Okay, pretty good so far.
However, I am obligated to emphasize that this is a one-time accommodation that will not be made again. Having this come up after the fact has been problematic for us, especially with it potentially negatively affecting a fun charity event we planned for months. It is not appropriate for Hi-Rez to bear the unbudgeted cost for assets that were understood to be yours when you provided them to us for implementation within the games. Any future expenses related to this or similar matters will be deducted from amounts paid to you for your services.
Well, I'll take payments being delayed by over a month. I'll take having my shows canceled for no fucking reason. I'll take having $1,000 taken out of my account for no reason every month. But not only did you make me go through the trouble of handing you references and indications of what I wanted my custom logo to look like, after you told me I was getting one, not only did you end up not doing it because your artists didn't feel like doing their jobs, not only did you end up just using my YouTube icon without permission or warning, I am now being blamed for all of this and being threatened that the next time that something like this happens, that any compensation sent to the artist whose art you're using without their permission will be taken out of my fucking paycheck. That's where I draw the line. I am fucking done. I don't want to make videos about this game. I don't even want to fucking play it. I don't give a fuck how good it is or if my favorite character got buffed. I don't give a shit. I am done. And for the record, this video wasn't even made to have shit publicly flown at Hi-Rez. This video was made as a warning to anyone thinking of working for them. I highly recommend you don't. And that's it. Enjoy Cthulhu, I guess.